The movie opens with Simon and his girlfriend Fabian enjoying a wonderful life. Fabian owns an art gallery, and Simon is an aspiring artist. Simon plans to attend his father's 60th birthday celebration one day. He is a little anxious about taking Fabian with him. When he arrives at his family's house, he finds his father, Carl, praying with his buddies. Agnes, Simon's mother, is also present. Simon sees Sonia, Carl's mistress, while the guys are in prayer. As everyone is eating after the prayer, a few visitors question Simon why he dropped out of medical school. Simon's father, a brilliant writer and psychotherapist, says he supports Simon in his decision to follow his artistic passion. Fabian adds, it makes his parents proud that Simon has been nominated for an award for his work. Later, when he's speaking with his mother, she says she needs assistance reading Carl's latest book. She wants Simon to write up his father's lectures into a book so he can get paid a lot of money for it. Simon, however, claims that he is currently too preoccupied with his work. He discovers that Sonia, his secretary, and his father are alone in a room. When Simon's mother notices that too, she suddenly begins to have seizures. Simon finds this upsetting, but it seems Agnes has experienced this before. On their way home, he discusses it with Fabian, and the following day, Fabian leaves early to finish some work. Riding his bicycle, Simon pursues her and shows her his latest sketches when they get at Fabian's workplace. 3 weeks from now comes their exhibition, and so far, Fabian isn't happy with Simon's work. Agnes enters the room as they are discussing it. She drags Simon outside and pleads with him to write the book, so she and Carl may take a holiday. She claims that without Simon's assistance, she would have to stay behind since Carl would kidnap Sonia, which may intensify their romantic relationship. Simon agrees because he wants to support his mother, even if he doesn't want to work for his dad. Simon assures Fabian that he will handle the increased work, despite his concerns that it may negatively impact his art. He visits his family's house, where Carl tells him how he plans to publish his lectures as a book. Carl confesses to dating Sonia when they are talking about this. He declares his love for Sonia and expresses regret that she must stay behind to assist Simon with the book. Simon starts working as soon as his parents leave, and he and Fabian attend the award ceremony in the evening. Even though he is aware that he would not prevail, he yet feels let down when someone else receives the prize. He is given the assurance by Fabian that his work is excellent and that he will soon receive worldwide acclaim. That night, when he gets home, he tries to create something, but he isn't feeling very creative, so he talks to his roommate and feeds the dog outside his apartment. When he wakes up the following morning, Simon was quite interested to learn that Sonia had once been one of Carl's patients when Carl's manager informed him of this the same day. A young woman who was invited to Carl's clinic later that day is trying to find him. Sonia is unhappy about the whole incident and wants the girl to leave when she notices this. Simon wants to move his work on a flash drive at the end of his shift. When he gets to Sonia's office, he discovers that she is crying. As she tries to dab away her tears, Simon gives her a package of wipes. She gives him a hug and he reassures her that everything will be alright. At this point, she gives him a kiss. Simon is shocked by this and quickly exits the office, even when he's with his fiancée. He can't help but think about Sonia. He is trying to work in his office the very next day, but he can't stop thinking about the kiss. He then goes to Sonia's office to inquire as to the significance of the kiss, but Sonia replies that it was merely an impulsive gesture. When she goes to lunch with a different coworker, Simon begins to delve into her background because he doesn't like her response. Before he can read Sonia's file that he removed from the cabinet, there is a knock on the door. Restoring the file, he steps outside and spots a man carrying a bunch of roses. He learns that Sonia received those roses from Carl. Simon gets envious and decides to toss the roses into the garden after taking them outdoors. After that, he meets Fabian for lunch, where he discovers that the man who won the artist award is being courted by Fabian for a job. Sonia questions Simon about the roses when he returns to the office, since he doesn't want to be there. He claims to be ignorant about them. He listens in on their chat after realizing she's speaking with his father. The knowledge that his father views him as insane bothers him. Before he goes, he warns Sonia that she shouldn't feel too proud of herself, because Carl judges everyone else the same way. He's full of wrath. Upon arriving at Fabian's office by train, he witnesses her conversing with the new artist. His father approaches him in the kitchen as he is getting a drink and asks why he is causing issues at work. When Simon declares he is done working, his mother persuades him to continue because failing to finish that book would destroy their marriage. Simon is struggling so much under all of this pressure that he gets into a fight with Fabian, who claims that because Simon is unable to work, she had to hire a new artist. After this disagreement, Simon returns to the workplace where Sonia is attempting to locate the cabinet key. Simon gives her file, which she requests. He returns to get it and finds Sonia in a very depressed state. After reading Carl's comments, she begins to kiss Simon once again. They slip out of her workplace and into Carl's home in search of some privacy. Simon and Sonia eventually spend the night together in his parents' bedroom there. Following their love encounter, Simon cleans the sheets and gets into her car with Sonia, who takes him into the city. Simon is overjoyed when she tells him that they may hang out whenever he wants. Just as he is beginning to feel good about himself, his flatmate informs him that Fabian has been quite friendly with a new artist, which puts a sour spin on things. He attends a private party that evening where Fabian is serenading him in a love song. She's obviously in love with him and seems to be enjoying herself. As they sit down and she plants a kiss on him, Simon confesses to her that he had an affair with Sonia. Fabian is so heartbroken that she is at a loss for words. She goes away after declaring that their relationship cannot be saved. Simon is checking his phone after she leaves when Sonia extends an invitation. He rushes to her place because he feels lonely, and she shows him upstairs. They begin flirting and eventually make love to one another. They're having fun together, and Sonia even makes him dinner. Simon, on the other hand, blesses everyone after saying the prayer. After spending the night at her house, he discovers upon waking that Sonia has left for the market. As he is studying the photo of Sonia with his father, Carl appears out of nowhere and enters the apartment. Simon is taken aback to discover that Carl is the rightful owner of the property, even if he is still stunned to find his son there. Carl acknowledges the circumstances and informs Simon that they have been experiencing a lot of issues because he is unable to provide Sonia with the child she has always desired. As they are discussing this, Sonia returns and plants a kiss on Simon in front of Carl. She tells Carl to go when he tries to speak with her. Simon discovers that Sonia exploited him to make Carl jealous. When he confronts her about it, she acknowledges it. Simon begins to have mental problems as a result of everything. He returns to his apartment somehow, but he is really sick. Carl gets a call out of the blue from Agnes, telling him that Carl is moving in with Sonia. Agnes begins experiencing a panic attack as Simon is still talking on the phone. His mom is doing okay, but he rushes there because he's worried about her. She starts chatting to him about Sonia and puts all the blame on him. She goes so far as to tell him to get over his troubles and move on from them. Simon was deeply affected by her statements since he feels as though he is no longer loved by anyone. He goes to Fabian's studio and asks her to forgive him, but she advises him that he should avoid her because it's obvious he's not thinking correctly at the moment. Simon returns to his flat and smashes all of his artwork after being turned down again. After that, he starts having an attack of some kind and faints. When he awakens in a hospital, his father welcomes him with open arms. Carl says to his kid that he never intended for his personal life to consume him. Carl becomes upset when Simon accuses him of wrecking his mother's life and turning her into a schizophrenic. He claims that although he genuinely loves Sonia and wants to spend the rest of his life with, he also genuinely loves Agnes. A few months later, Simon visits his father in conjunction with the publication of his book and is now enrolled in medical school. Simon discovers Sonia there, expecting his child. He also gets to meet his mother, who is still devoted to her husband. When Simon questions her about why she wouldn't leave him, she responds that she wants to be the child's caregiver because Sonia is obviously unfit for the role. After a while, Simon returns home for a celebration and receives his son from Sonia. He looks at his infant and forgives Sonia for abusing him in that way, while Simon considers his future. The family takes a group photo.